Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is brought to you by Dead City Productions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talkin Anime. Hit the theme music.
Do you hate that I am proud and brown and standing here alive? With baby oil on my Nubian thighs, I will survive. I will survive. Big Mama Angela. Doing a crossword. Let us do one last crossword together as brothers.
No.
Shall we? Yes, let's.
Nope. No.
Let's.
It's called hentai, and it's art.
Konnichiwa, everyone, and we are back for episode 3. Episode 3 of Talkin Anime. I am your host, Mitch. I hope you guys are excited for this one because Weebs Unite. It is time to talk about the most taboo thing in all of anime, and that is called hentai. Now, if you guys don't know, hentai is anime and manga pornography. That is right, everybody. It is animated porn. Now, hentai literally means, in English, pervert. That's all you need to know. It's not a genre of media, but any type to be perverse or bizarre sexual desire or act. For example, outside of Japan, a work of animation depicting lesbian sex might be described as yuri hentai, and as Japanese would be described as yuri. Now, the reason why today's episode is talking about hentai is one thing and one thing only. If you guys were listening to this like 40-second clip from The Office, there's a line from it. It literally says it's called hentai and it's art. And our conversation today, ladies and gentlemen, is about one thing and one thing only. Is hentai art? We're going to go into the definition of hentai a little bit deeper into it, where it came from, stuff like that. And then we're going to go into the definition of what is art. Might do what is art first, then hentai. And then we will discuss to you why I believe that hentai is art. Because there are some people in this world that believe that hentai is not art, just a bunch of cartoons of fucking. Anyways, guys, gonna throw the commercial up first, like I normally do, and then we will come back for our discussion about hentai. Is it art? Enjoy this commercial brought to you by Anchor.fm. Hey guys, it's Mitch. Konnichiwa. I hope you guys have been enjoying the episode so far, but I'm here to talk to you guys about... That's weird. I wasn't expecting anybody. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Hey, man. What are you doing? Hey, no! Put that down. Put that down. Hey, come on, man. Don't put that...
Ha ha ha! Take that! Hello everyone, my name is Peppy and I'm here to talk to you about Anchor.fm, the only website to upload podcasts to all your favorite platforms for free. Yeah, free. Now how you say platforms? Dollars? All you got to do is go record on one of their websites using their programming and a mic of your choice, or upload the podcast through their own upload tool. That's all you need. Want to get paid for doing podcasts? Well, set yourself up with the monetization and boom, you get paid. Now get off your butt after listening to this episode, of course, and get recording. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
What the hell, man? Yeah, everyone. I guess what he said. Ow, fuck, my head hurts. All right, everybody, back to Talkin Anime. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the new commercial. I had a lot of fun recording it. It got me to play around with my Francais accent and using one of my old YouTube characters from one of my old YouTube series, whose name is Pepe. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that commercial. Let me know if you want more commercials like this, where I just do random voices and everything else. Anyways, guys, like I said earlier, today's episode is simply about hentai, and if we can seriously say, is hentai art? Now, there is people that say it is art, and those are the people who actually intake hentai on a basis of some kind. Not gonna deny that I haven't perused the world of hentai once or twice in my years on this earth. Oh God, remind me to delete my search history later. God. Anyways, guys, today's episode is talking about hentai. Is it art? Is it not art? People say it is. People say it's not. We're going to go into it. Hentai, which is roughly translated to pervert in English, is an art form of manga and or anime pornography. In Japanese, however, hentai is not a genre of media, but any type of perverse or bizarre sexual desire or act. For example, and then this is where I mentioned it earlier, this is like the full blang, bang, thank you, mang of what hentai's definition is. Outside of Japan, a work of animation depicting lesbian sex might be described as yuri hentai, but in Japan it would be described as yuri. The word is short for hentai sayuku, a perverse sexual desire. The original meaning hentai in Japanese language is a transformation or metamorphosis. This showing off perverse or paraphernalia was derived from there, both meaning they can be distinguished in context. Now, hentai is such an interesting word because in the Oxford Dictionary, it is defined as a subgenre of the Japanese genre of manga and anime characterized by overly sexualized characters and sexually explicit images and plots. The origin of the word in English is unknown, but Anime Nation's John Opkler points in the early 1990s when a dirty pair erotic doujinshi, which is self-published work titled H-Bomb, was released, and then many websites sold access to images culled from Japanese erotic visual novels and games. Now, you guys, if you want, there's websites. All I really do is Google this, and you can literally go through all the forms of hentai, and there is a lot of forms of hentai. You got your plain Jane hentai, which is like watching anime characters fuck, like you're watching porn. You can get tentacle hentai, which is chicks or dudes being sexually violated by tentacles of a form or another. Or you can get like animal ones where people turn to animals, or you can get ecchi mangas, which is roughly the same thing, but it all depends. And there's like websites like Faku. There's like or Pornhub has a section of hentai, which is like one of the biggest searches in Pornhub is hentai, next to like incest and MILFs and stuff. And then there's there's websites on websites. Again, in porn, there's a rule, I think it's Rule 34, which is anything you think is porn can be used or turned into porn or has already been made into porn. And this is where hentai comes into it. You could literally go and look up Dragon Ball Z hentai. There's hentai for it. You can go and look up Family Guy hentai. May not be animation, but I can tell you that there is hentai. I know, again, need to really clear that search history. But, anyways, guys, hentai is porn for people who... I find hentai is like when you have gone and you've literally found everything on Pornhub for normal porn, and you're like, I'm desensitized to this now, I need something different. Hentai, you can get weirder shit than normal porn. Yeah, there's like poop porn and fart porn and stuff like that, but hentai literally has people being turned into animals and fucking. There's hentai where you get someone murdered and they skull fucked. There's a dark web of porn that you could find the exact same shit in real life, but you're not as grossed out by it because you know it's a cartoon and not just some freaking weirdo recording some weird shit. Now, people call porn art. So the question now is, what is art? Art is a diverse range of human activities in creating visual, auditory, like podcasts.
Hey, this is technically art. Give me a 5-star review. I'll take it now. Thanks.
And or performing artifacts or artworks expressing the author's imaginative, conceptual ideas or technical skill intended to be appreciated, for their beauty or emotional power. Other activities related to this production of work of art include criticism of art, study of the history of art, the aesthetic diminish of art. Again, the arts, music, theater, film, painting, dance, performing arts, whatever. Art is essentially subjective work. And the question is hentai technically art? And the answer is yes. Hentai is art, because if we're going to put porn in art, then it only makes sense that we allow hentai to be known as art and it should be appreciated as art. Yes, there's a bunch of cartoons fucking. It's for people who, again, like anime a little too much. I, for one, can honestly say I like anime enough that I have, and yes, I'm not denying it, I have partaken in hentai. I have looked up video, whatever. Anyways, hentai is art simply because it is a form of artwork that can be appreciated for its film. It can be appreciated for its artwork. It can be appreciated for music, because there are actual music in some hentais too. It's really different, but yeah. And the thing about hentai too is that they really push the soundscape of what porn is. Now, when you watch real porn, it's not as, I guess, sound arousing as hentai is. Because with anime in general, there's a lot more emphasis on, like, thrown off, like, sound effects, like, or stuff like that. You won't see a lot of that in movies, right? Or in regular TV. The thing with anime is that you have to kind of show a little bit of those, like, odd, like, oh, someone lifting up something. You know, in a normal show, you won't hear anyone go, You won't even hear, you'll hear maybe a grunt if it's a little heavy, but anime, it's literally, someone picks up a box, it's like, ugh. You know, because anime needs to portray feeling and emotion more than what acting does. Because the fact that an actor, you can really tell because it's real life, you can tell their facial expressions. Anime, there's facial expressions, but it's not deprived or shown as much as anime is. And hentai is that too. There's a lot more times where you hear like squishing and squashing sounds than you would in actual porn. Because sometimes, again, this is going to be like the super perverse episode. Perverted, I should say. So there will be sound or things I will talk about on this. Again, luckily enough, I'm not labeling this for children, so this is good. None of my content, by the way, that goes on YouTube is labeled for children. Just saying now because I swear. I got a mouth of a sailor and a brain of an old man. So there's a lot of fucking cussing. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of times when a dude is eating out a chick in anime and you can literally hear them doing this. You don't get that much in porn, but you get it in hentai. There's more sound effects of when a dude puts his penis in a vagina and, make babies. Or the act of baby making, love making, whatever. Those sound effects are in there. It is more, it's more stimulating sound-wise than normal porn. And that, I believe, is essentially because of the fact that it's animated and it's the fact that it's influenced from Japan. I don't think all hentai comes from Japan. But the ones that do, it's very much anime porn. And that there's a lot more visually stimulating. There's always audio stimulation, stuff like that. It's just, again, it's just normal porn that's been, I guess, visually it's more appealing, I find, than regular porn hentai, just because there's things in there you don't see regularly for whatever reason than normal porn, I guess because of the limitations of what humans can do and what a cartoon can do. I mean, there's literally hentais where you watch a chick's insides be stretched out and everything else. It's just one of those and then there is It is very visually appealing, but just like with every porn adaptation to anything, any form of porn, there's where it's really dark and weird, and that's usually when a chick is getting boned, and you see her insides being shoved because the dude's wang is huge, and her insides are being forced out, or ones where it's a chick is literally being banged, and it's her first time, and she's bleeding everywhere. That's where I find hentai gets kind of not appealing, is when you get stuff like that, or when a chick gets literally disemboweled after doing it with something. But here nor there, there's a bunch of really weird porns. Like I said, like the fact of really weird, the tentacle porn, the animal porn, stuff like that. There's always going to be some super weird version of hentai out there. But since I'm talking about hentai right now, might as well talk about where it came from, how it started, and everything else. Because again, I got time to fill. I might as well actually go into. I might as well go into a history of what technically hentai really is. With the wonderful people at Wikipedia, it says with the usage of hentai as any erotic dictation, the history of these is split into their media. Japanese artwork and comics serve as the first example of hentai material coming to represent the iconic style of the publication of Azuma Hidemori's Cybele in 1979. The animation, Japanese animation, or anime, had its first hentai in both definitions with the 1984 release of Wonder Kids' Lolita anime, overlooking the erotic and sexual dictation of the 1969's 1001 Arabian Nights and the bare-breasted Cleopatra in 1970's Cleopatra film. Erotic games, other areas of content, has its first case of the art style depicting sexual acts in 1985's Tenshai Ichi no Go-Go. And these mediums, the broad definition of the usage of the term contemplates its historic animation or examination. Now, I'm going to fumble words because I'm not linguistic, so there will be certain words that will poo-poo in my mouth. We go on. We don't go from there, We just go forward. We don't linger. Depictions of sex and abnormal sex can be traced back through the ages predating the term hentai. Shunga a Japanese term for erotic art, is thought to be existed in some form since the Hentai period from the 16th century to 19th century. Shunga works were suppressed by shoguns. A well-known example is The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife, which depicts a woman being stimulated by two octopuses. Shunga production fell with the introduction of pornography photographs in the late 19th century. Now, porn has been around forever. Hentai has been around forever in Japan, and again, we didn't really get it really until like later on. Like the Westerners didn't get it later on until like hentai or anime was like a legit thing when we had stuff like when Astro Boy came to the West and were introduced to anime that way was through the original 1960s anime show cartoon Astro Boy. That was the first time we saw anime in the West instead of coming up from the East and then everything else. And then just again, because Rule 64 or Rule 34, whatever it is, there's always porn depicted to something else. So we will always have hentai like we have porn. And hentai should honestly be given the exact same appreciation that porn does. I honestly have not heard of a hentai award show. If there is, let me know, guys. Put it in the comments. Whatever. There will always be porn, and the world needs hentai because weebs like random, weird, animated shit. So why not give us weird, animated porn? And it only makes sense that we appreciate hentai like we appreciate any form of art. It's still a lot of work for animators to make the models of the characters, not only as animations, but to have them go and do pornographic things. Sure, animators have done like the whole, we're going to have this one section of the show, whatever, repeat a couple frames per sec, or in the few seconds that's there, because you're cutting corners. And I think motion-wise, it's probably a lot easier for them to actually physically make hentai than it is to actually make certain animes, because of the fact that if it's one sex position the entire time, they can cut corners by just extending that one scene over and over and over again. And all you gotta do is have your voice actors, because there are voice actors in hentai. It's just how it is. Just have them keep making moans and groans and shit like that. Guys, it's porn. Like, honestly, at the end of the day, it's porn, but with cartoons. Love it like you love your normal porn. It's gonna be weird. There's gonna be some really weird hentai. Guess what? There's weird porn too. There's websites dedicated to weird porn. Remember back in the day, 2 Girls, 1 Cup? Church of Fudge? Yeah, poop porn. That's a thing. Guess what? Anime has hentai porn. It's got, or tentacle porn, sorry. Then it has animal porn. It's weird. Just like everything else, it's weird. There'll always be, whatever you think porn has, there's probably always going to be a hentai version of it one way or the other, because hentai follows somewhat of Rule 34, that whatever you can think can happen in a porn can happen in hentai. Yes, Rule H, everyone. That is going to be a new thing. Hashtag Rule H. Go online to Twitter. Let's make hashtag Rule H a thing. And it's literally defined as whatever you think can happen in porn can happen in hentai too. Now, guys, this episode might fall a little short than my usual half an hour because, again, how much can I literally sit? I can't sit here for half an hour trying to stretch out what is hentai. I can tell you guys on and on about it. I might do future episodes where I extend the length of conversations. But as of right now, hentai is an art. Yes, it is art because art is essentially the act of creating something using animation, film, drawings, whatever. Yes, hentai is art. Don't let anyone tell you no. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because in reality, hentai is art. We love it. We appreciate it. By God, the weebs who watch hentai and are listening to this, dude, come on, man. Go delete your search history and, look it up again later. After you listen to this episode, of course. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Like I said, it probably won't reach the half an hour like I want it to, but the conversation anyways, but I might as well try and fit a little bit of extra time in to thank you guys. Thank you guys for everyone who's been listening to the podcast, anyone who's been watching my YouTube videos, any future comments on all those. I appreciate it. I love every single one of you for giving me a chance to sit here and talk about things that I like and everything else. I hope you guys enjoy future conversations on this podcast, on this YouTube video, whatever you listen to. I hope you guys can sit and enjoy every little bit like I am when I'm recording this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Follow me on all my socials. Link in the description of the video. Link in the description of this podcast. I love every single one of you. Thank you. And let's all go beyond plus ultra. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Talking Anime. If you like the theme song, link in the description of this podcast and video. And all my socials linked in the bottom. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye.